you're looking for the best class setups to use in Modern Warfare 2 for Season 3 in order to get high-scoring gameplays, get camos, rank up faster, and just have an overall great time on Warzone, multiplayer, or ranked, this is a video for you. I'm going to be showing you 5 amazing class setups that you guys can use. So without further ado, let's get to the video. Alright everyone, so for the first class setup I'm going to be showing you, it's with the M4. Personally, my favorite gun in Modern Warfare by far, just because of how overpowered it is across the board. Now, starting off with the barrel, guys, I have the 419mm EXF barrel. It's going to give you damage range, hipfire accuracy, and bullet velocity as pros, losing a little bit of aim down sight speed and hip recoil control in the process. When it comes to the muzzle, we're using the X10 Havoc 90. It's going to give you horizontal and vertical recoil control. I can tell you that practically every single one of the muzzles I'm going to be showing you in this video are going to have horizontal and vertical recoil control as the focal point of them. Now for the underbarrel, we're using the Phase 3 grip. This is going to give you recoil stabilization, aiming idle stability, and hipfire accuracy while losing walking speed and aim down sight speed. As far as it goes for the optic, we're using the DF105 reflex sight, which is really nice. It's going to give you a precision sight picture. It's very clean, looks nice on your gun, and ultimately that red dot is just going to help you out when it comes down to it. And then lastly, guys, for the stock, we're using the Tempest P80 Strike stock. Now, as far as it goes, there's very few guns or attachments that I really have tuning on. In terms of things, this is the tuning for the muzzle on the XM4. You guys can kind of see where I prioritize things. And then, especially with the underbarrel for this, you guys can see that I'm prioritizing recoil stabilization and aiming idle stability. And then when it comes to the stock tuning, I'm prioritizing aim down sight speed and aim walking speed for this class. Now for the second gun on this list, we're using the FSS Hurricane. Probably my favorite submachine gun that can also act like an assault rifle because of just how dominant it actually is in many different ways. First off, with the barrel, we're using the FSS Cannonade. This is going to give you damage range, bullet velocity, and hipfire accuracy while losing hip recoil control and aim down sight speed. Then when it comes to the muzzle, we're using that EXF Huntress 90, giving you recoil smoothness and control, as well as sound suppression and bullet velocity, losing most certainly damage range, aiming stability, and aim down sight, plus aim walking speed at the same time. But again, it's really overpowered and really going to help you out in the long run. Now, moving on to the underbarrel, we're using the X10 Drop Grip. This is going to give you aiming, idle stability, and hipfire accuracy with walking speed as a negative. I personally really like it for this gun. I find that it's just really snappy and really going to give you added recoil stability. Then moving on to the optic, we're using the Cronin Mini Dot for this one. Really, really nice. You could also use the AIM OPV4 and it'll probably do the same trick. Otherwise, I would definitely recommend the Courier Enforcer optic as well. And then lastly, guys, for the stock, we're using the Ravage 8, which I really love, giving you that aiming stability. Otherwise, you can use the Demo Fade Pro stock and it's going to do just the same for you. Now, for the third gun I'm showing you, we're using the Castoff 545. This is actually a blueprint version, so I'm not going to really change any of the tuning or go over the class too much because these attachments are really going to work out for it nonetheless. The focal points of this class though are aim down sight speed and walking speed and recoil control, and it is pro-tuned by Activision itself. Primarily using the Custovia 406 for the barrel, the RF Crown 50 for the muzzle. We're using the FTAC Ripper 56, which is an underrated underbarrel for this game. Then we're using the True Tac for the rear grip and the cast-off ram up for the stock as well. As you guys can tell, this is overpowered because there's not a single red marker on any of the stats for this particular gun. For the fourth gun on this video, I'm showing you is the Castoff 74U. Probably my favorite SMG to use by far. This is always one that I play with on a day-to-day basis because it's just so freaking overpowered. Now, to show you the attachments, first for the barrel, we're using the Short Tac 330mm Again, hip recoil control and standard recoil control with bullet velocity. Losing a little bit of speed, damage range, and accuracy at the same time, though. When it comes down to the muzzle, we're using that Gauge 9 mono. This is going to give you that recoil smoothness and control, sound suppression, and bullet velocity. It is really going to be superior when it comes down to sound suppression and recoil control at the same time as losing some speed and stability. Now, for the underbarrel, we're using the Shark Fin 90. This is going to give you aiming idle stability. You can use the X10 drop grip to also have hipfire accuracy or something like the F-Tac Tiger grip, but it really is up to you. For me, the Shark Fin 90 is probably the best. Now, I am using a 45 round magazine on this class because I want more ammo. That way I'm not having to reload as much. And the more ammo while in gunfights, the better. And then lastly, guys, for the rear grip, we're using the True Tact grip, giving you sprint to fire and aim down sight speed. Now, as far as it goes, there's very few attachments that I do have any tuning on. For the barrel, I'm prioritizing recoil steadiness and aim down sight speed. When it comes to that muzzle, I'm really keeping it even as far as things go. When it comes down to that underbarrel, practically the same thing, but a little bit of tuning towards recoil stabilization. And then for the rear grip, I'm really prioritizing recoil steadiness and sprint to fire speed. Lastly, guys, the MX9 Sweet Leather, probably my favorite one you can use throughout the entire game, just because it is absolutely overpowered. And as a SMG, this also works well long range at the same time. For the barrel, we're using that 508mm rear guard. This is giving you bullet velocity, damage range, and hipfire accuracy. So not as much recoil control, but more in the damage, accuracy, and the range when it comes down to it. Then we're using the F-Tac Colossal comp to have horizontal and vertical recoil control while losing aim down sight speed and aiming stability. When it comes down to the magazine, we're using the 32 round mag. This is just going to, like I mentioned, be for having more ammo in gunfights and less reloading. And then for the optic, I'm using the Slimline Pro, giving you a precision sight picture that looks also really nice on the gun. And lastly, we're using the HCR Bruin 56 stock to give aiming stability and recoil control. To show you the tuning, I'm prioritizing recoil steadiness and aim down sight speed for the barrel. When it comes down to tuning for the muzzle, we're prioritizing recoil steadiness while not really doing any sort of modifications for kick control or aiming stability. When it comes down to it for the optic, we're tuning towards flinch resistance and close distance. And then lastly for the stock, tuning towards that aim down sight speed and aim walking speed. So hopefully that helps you guys out with some really killer class ups that you guys can use to get high scoring gameplays, rank up fast, get camos faster, and just overall have a really great time during Season 3 of Modern Warfare 2. If you guys made it all the way to the end of the video, make sure to go and comment down below Pineapple. Really means a lot to me if you made it all the way to the end of the video. But with that being said, guys, my name is Tristin. Check out all my social medias down below, and I'll see all of you guys in the next one.